That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction
Tuesday.
Down.
Tuesday.
Oh! They added it in.
Hey.
Look at that. I didn't know that was added on there. Like
And
that.
you say that you wouldn't get another job.
Wow. You want to be my latex salesman. Okay, so these are leftover from the weekend, right? So I know we talked about this yesterday a bunch, but Mike Tomlin choked punting on 4th and 1.
That's not an overreaction. I know it's 2020 hindsight, but choked is a very difficult word for me also
It was
to
what first came to
swallow,
mind.
if you
Yeah,
will.
I get it.
That's the Boston and you coming out right there. I don't understand it. I mean, the math alone, and I'm not really much of an analytics person, but you know, you're down 12. You can't afford to lose another step. You've got to go for it. But this was the lack of the run game coming home to roost. And then the defense being a shadow of itself because Bud Dupree and Devin Bush and the other injuries on that side. And I understand that the Browns have the same amount of injuries and that this is a war of attrition in the playoffs. But clearly Tomlin, they you know, back in the old days, let's turn to the bus, let's turn to Bell. Honestly, the Steelers had no run game that they had confidence in of which to speak, with the ultimate of respect to James Conner. And the coach sitting there saying, let's punt it and play defense. Really? I mean, it made no... I guess he felt like he had a great third quarter. Let's punt it. And I thought that the Vrabel punt decision as well to give it back to the Ravens was a poor decision too, and I thought it at the time. Those are some wild card weekend second guesses that I think are not overreactions.
Let's talk about the quarterback, number 7. Ben Roethlisberger's played his final game with the Steelers.
I don't think that's an overreaction either, and I think he was thinking it too. He was. Have you ever seen Big Ben in tears after a season-ending loss?
Never.
And Pouncey coming over, and the two of them, the NFL Films picked up a brotherhood of men conversation between the two of them. You know, Pouncey apologized to Ben, and Ben apologized to Pouncey, saying, I came back because of you. I mean, that sort of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. He's got 1 year left. That's got a ton of cap ramifications to it. He said he wants to talk about it. They might.
But if he retires, that would kind of put the Steelers off the hook.
That said,
money.
Big Ben, and if I had told a Browns fan, hey, guess what? Big Ben would top 500 yards passing with a touchdown pass to Claypool with 4 minutes to go. You think you're going to win or lose?
Think you're going to win?
Say what? Hey, no, but Browns fan would say we lose.
Oh, right.
So Ben, you know, it was just an awful first quarter they couldn't come out from, which again makes it not an overreaction about that punt.
Yeah,
decision.
His picks were just brutal.
I know,
brutal
but
picks.
he still threw for 500 yards, and I think
But he had to because they were down.
I think though, but he still has the ability to. Nobody's sitting here saying his arm strength is this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
But skills might be diminished. He's still a better option than anybody else they have on their roster. Who would they get? They'd have to trade for somebody. Yeah, like Sam Darnold.
Derek Carr.
Deshaun Watson.
Please,
All right,
in their dreams. Their dreams.
Speaking of the Browns, guys, the Browns are going to go into Arrowhead and upset the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's an overreaction.
Sure will be.
That's an overreaction. They have the. You know, you never say
run
never.
the ball.
Hey,
Kareem Hunt looked good. Nick Chubb.
They have.
Keep Mahomes on the sideline.
They have the tools to do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying they're not going to do it. But to sit here and say they're going to do it is, to me, an overreaction. That said, you know, Mahomes and Baker Mayfield are still putting points up from the game that they played against each other in the Big 12. In Big 12 country, this game's taking place. Mayfield and Mahomes, look up that game when Texas Tech took on Oklahoma. Holy crap. I can't wait to see this matchup. And Mayfield
like
is
1,000 yards of offense.
And we'll talk about it further on in the week. Mayfield's a wild card in this one. He can put up a 300-yard game, and they can run the football. They can absolutely win this game. For the moment, though, I'm going to call it an overreaction.
All right, next up, we're going to get Saints-Bucks 3 to end divisional round. Tom Brady's going to get his revenge and win this game.
That ain't no overreaction. That's not an overreaction.
He really struggled in the 2 games against
He sure
the Saints.
did. He
2
sure
touchdowns,
did. He
5
sure
picks.
did. That was
Only
an impressive
220 yards
W,
per
man.
game,
That was an impressive W. That Washington football team defense much better than Atlanta's and Detroit's, and those are the good people. Those are the eats that Brady was feasting on in December. That's not an overreaction at all. If I'm a Saints fan, I am genuinely concerned. I am genuinely concerned about this.
Brady's playing great right now.
I'm genuine, but later on this week, I'm going to give you a Saints, if you will, not so becoming secret weapon anymore. That's a little tease. I'm going to do 4 downs tomorrow.
Okay,
and I'll
great.
make that part of my 4 downs. But it's going to be a dynamite game that's going to be unlike the previous 2, and even to the benefit of the Saints as well offensively. So that's not an overreaction.
All right, last one before we get to Daniel Jeremiah. Lamar Jackson, guys, silenced his critics with the first playoff win.
No doubt. You haven't said a word.
I haven't.
You were one of his critics.
I am.
He hasn't said a word. And guess what, man? This game, 10-0. It wasn't looking good. Lamar threw an interception.
Wasn't looking good.
And it's 10-0. And just like the previous year where the Titans got out to a double-digit lead to start and the Ravens only counter with a field goal, which is what they did, okay, with Justin Tucker, who missed one, for crying out loud.
This one from 50, which he's normally money.
Missed one. And then on 3rd down from midfield, it all changed in a flash. And it was when number 8 got out the gate and see you later. Made a move on, I think it was Keith Byard, left him standing in his shoes. See ya. Over. Done. He didn't do that the previous 2 years. And the game wasn't the same after that.
No, it wasn't.
Titans made a game of it. Had a chance.
Had a
big-time chance, but they punted it away, and then Lamar was making his throws. And I'll tell you, and then we'll get to break. When the Ravens offense is cooking, as they did in the second half after Lamar took off, the Ravens offense is cooking when you have no earthly idea who the people in the backfield are, either a runner, a passer, a blocker. You have no idea. You have no earthly idea, or a decoy. You have no idea. The mesh point, if you can't stop it with a human being, if you can't have one person that's going to blow it up, and you can't figure out your assignments, and you have no idea, is the fullback going to be the one coming out for a receiver? Who's going to be a passer, a runner, a blocker, or a receiver? You have no idea. And that's what the Ravens were doing, cooking with gas. If they do that to the Bills, they're making the AFC Championship game. They are making the AFC Championship game.
Talk about it. If the Ravens go on to make the Super Bowl, they'll have won 3 straight road games against really good football teams and really good quarterbacks.
Correct. And they'll have earned it. But that's when this offense is working. And it's difficult to establish that when you're down by 14, 18, 20 points, which is why the Chiefs can beat them. And have. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.